What does photography, singing, dancing, and train modeling all have in common? They're all artistic outlets. I know mine is writing. What's yours? Today on The Journal, we look at 4 documentaries about artists and their passions, as well as a special performance by Brampton singer Don Nova. So don't go anywhere, we're just getting started. Welcome back, live at the Story Arts Center campus. It's The Journal. I'm your host, Zach Crawford. So let's jump right into it, shall we? If you're anything like me, you know that there is something special about the night. Traffic and crowds begin to die down, and silence falls over the city. It's that time of night where you get to truly appreciate the things around you without constant distractions. Produced by Howe, the documentary In Dying Light follows photographer Anojin and his powerful depiction of nighttime photography. So, let's check it out.
There's something beautiful about shooting photography at night. It's interesting to be able to see the world at a different light. Everything's calmer, quieter, peaceful, and resilient. I'm currently working on a project titled Neighborhood Watch. The premise of the project is to capture the cinematic moments of the suburbs of Toronto, specifically Scarborough. The photographs capture nostalgic moments that resonate with my childhood, my friends, and past memories. The purpose is to visually capture moments that people don't often see. People don't always go out to shoot photos of the Canadian suburbs. I want to create a series of photographs to capsule the diverse neighborhoods of the city, the changes it's going through, and the remnants of the past. I never intended to do most of my work at night. I work a 9-to-5 job as an urban planner by career. I only get time to shoot photos after work, when it's usually at night. I'm intrigued by homes that emit a single light, landscapes in the suburbs that have a cinematic presence to it. A lot of my photos are of everyday locations to many people. Part of that may be due to my career in urban planning, but part of that may also be due to nostalgia. Ernest Haas once said one of the most important and memorable quotes that will always resonate with me. I am not interested in shooting new things. I am interested in seeing things new.
What a great documentary. I wonder how he was able to get that shot of Anojin in the car. Luckily, I can ask him myself right now. We've got Howe, the producer of that doc, to tell us more about it. Hey Jackie, what's up?
Hey Zach, how you doing?
I'm great, thanks for asking. So let's get the ball rolling here. Jackie, you have a background in photography yourself, right?
Yeah, I actually started photography back in high school. It was the first photography course that I've taken, and I fell in love afterwards, and I started doing that, and now I'm in film.
Okay. So how did you get that shot of Anojin in the car?
So I took a GoPro with a car mount with a suction cup, so I just stuck it right under the passenger side mirror and framed him up and just shot it as we rolled around the neighborhood.
And how do you know Anojin?
Anojin's been my best friend since for 15 years. I've known him since grade 4, and yeah, we always hang out.
Mm-hmm. And why did you choose him to do a doc?
So recently, Anojan, he had a night series of photographs, and I really wanted to showcase that because he was getting a lot of features on Instagram, and he was churning out a lot of good photographs. So I really wanted to showcase his stuff and basically feature him.
And what was your favorite part about shooting this doc?
My favorite part has got to be, I mean, we're just kind of, when we were filming it, it was kind of like we were hanging out. I mean, we were both working, but I mean, it just feels like any other day. It was quite simple. I mean, we made short films before, and it was just nice to hang out.
And when and where can we expect to see Anojan's project, Neighborhood Watch?
So his project's out right now. You could check his Instagram at Anojan. He's got a whole series, and he's trying out lots of stuff. I think he's posting like every day now, so definitely check it out.
And what other projects are you working on, Jackie?
Right now, we just recently finished shooting a 16mm project. It's called Middle of Nowhere. Producers Zach, directed by Reed. Great guys. I really appreciate working with them. It was amazing. We had some hurdles to overcome, and there were things to get over, but I mean, I think we did great, and I thought I exposed the fourth role, but I think it's all good now. Editor has to do some tweaking, but I am relieved. I was really stressed out, really nervous, and I think we're good. I'm really looking forward to the short film.
Well, it sounds great, and you'll learn from your mistakes, right? So I mean, next time you probably won't expose the fourth role, right?
I hope not. I mean, it's really difficult because I had to load the film in the car out in daylight. I mean, otherwise I would have loaded it home, and I was really stressed out. We were all stressed out, but
all right. Well,
yeah.
Thank you for joining us today, Jackie.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you, man. I don't know about you, but I was truly inspired by Anojan's photography. If you'd like to see more of his amazing work, follow him on Instagram at Anojan. Coming up later, we've got an exclusive live performance by R&B artist Don Nova with his original song, 50 Racks. So sit tight. And if you grew up watching YTV, the reality show The Next Star might ring a bell. It is a competition to find the most talented singer in Canada, aged 15 years and younger. For this next doc, we meet Mimosa and Roy, two previous contestants of the show. We'll get to see what it was like during The Next Star and where their passion has led them today. Produced by Ronald, Sarah, Vivian, and Justin, here's The Next Step. Over there?
I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us.
Hi, my name is Mimosa. So The Next Star is a reality singing television show that I was on when I was 13, and it was on YTV.
Hey, my name is Roy Tugbang. I was a young kid when I did it, so I want to say maybe 12 or 13. I had made it to the round where the TV cameras were rolling, the 3 judges were there. Although it wasn't live, it was still nerve-wracking.
That was a whole experience. It was
The process was
crazy. So for season 3, they weren't holding auditions in Winnipeg, so my family and I drove 11, 12 hours to Saskatchewan for it. It was insane.
I just remember lining up for hours, getting there at 5 a.m. and then getting in at around 9, having to go through 3 different panels before we ended up, finding out whether we made it to the next day. I was a little bit different growing up as a kid in terms of musical style and musical tastes. Being usually a classically trained singer, you're always the one that stands out, so people always look at you like, wow. No matter how good you really are, because you're different, you get a lot of attention.
Kids used to bully me about it and be like, stop singing, like you suck, you got a big nose, like you're never gonna make it, you're so ugly, like, geez, okay. Like.
Hi, my name is Mimosa.
I'm Moses, and today we'll be doing a cover for you guys.
My brother really helped me in that. He's my #1 supporter. He believed in me from the start. I would tell them, like, Kuya, these kids at school, they were bullying me today again, like, for singing. And he's like, you know what? Don't worry about it. They don't understand.
I almost quit. I did almost quit, and I remember having really, really deep conversations with my family and my family friends and other musicians about it. And they got frustrated with me because obviously they saw what I was capable of more than what I did at the time.
Hey, Roy.
Hey, Roy.
This is a big, big shout out to our boy, Roy Christian.
I can only see things moving up from here.
We know you can do it. We believe in you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Go out there, do your thing.
On
We
stage,
fully
yeah.
support you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Make us proud.
I was really lucky with the support that I got from my family. I was really lucky. There's a lot of kids out there that they don't get the support from their family when it comes to the arts, and I always did.
As much as I, loved who I was on The Next Star, it was 100% me. But at the same time, I was also being fed, information and how to act. Being on the show, a lot of people saw me as like that famous girl. And I would cringe every time someone said that, because I honestly, I don't like that word, because I didn't do this for myself. I did it for the love of music and for my family as well, because they believed in me. So.
More so on TV, you will find that you might have to sacrifice a little bit of your identity because they want you to be a little bit more marketable. Just enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Take every moment that you can to learn, and treat it as just any other experience.
Let this be our prayer when we lose our way.
What amazing voices those two have. I couldn't help but sing along. If you want to hear more, subscribe to their YouTube channels, Roy Christian and Mimosa Duat. And don't stop getting your groove on just yet. Up next, we've got a special live performance by Don Nova happening right here in the studio. He's an R&B artist from Brampton that has had a passion for music for as long as he can remember. Don Nova is a musical mastermind, including the piece he is performing today. Don creates his own beats and even writes his own lyrics. So sit back, relax, turn up the volume. This is Don Nova's 50 Racks.
In that Tupac movie, when he got out of jail, got off a plane, he came there with a suitcase of money, a bag of weed, and a death row chain. The he came later. That's it.
I can turn the shit on like a light bulb. They can see me running with the lights off. Please don't call me lucky when the dice roll. I just wanna flex a bit while I'm still young. Tryna cash this check in while I'm still young. Told you I would do it back in high school. You never should expect to know how life goes. But I know who I am and what I die for. Giving chances and my wishes granted. Rolling up green, then I hit the backwards. Everything I dreamed of, I'm gonna capture. Life's too sweet, man, I never panic. This is that, this is that, this is that. 50 racks, 50 racks, 50 racks. Everything I'm doing now is different last year. Making money stretch like it's gymnastics. Strippers dance, strippers dance, strippers dancing. All I wanna do is get them strippers dancing. All I ever wanted was a bit of action. I ain't even wondering where my Jimmy at. So shorty don't stress, shorty don't trip. Soon we gon' flex. I said shorty don't trip, shorty don't stress. Soon we gon' flex. Giving chances and my wishes granted. Rolling up green, then I hit the backwards. Everything I dreamed of, I'm gonna capture. Life's too sweet, man, I never panic. Putting that work till we get established. Building habits that can bring in fat checks. Checking for me now, but I'm looking at checks. Looking average, I ain't looking average. Giving my soul, it's a crucial move. I'm on cruise control. I won't lose control. This is that, this is that, this is that. 50 racks, 50 racks, 50 racks. Everything I'm doing now is different last year. Making money stretch like it's gymnastics. Strippers dance, strippers dancing. All I wanna do is get them strippers dancing. All I ever wanted was a bit of action. I ain't even wonder where my Jimmy at. Yeah. I can go in any day. I can go in any time. I can go in, I can blow up any place. Harder than hell when I go in overdrive. Ooh, Hollywood dream, now I'm living that dish. Money make these and these niggas that quick. All I ever wanted was a bit of action. Singing like I'm Prince, moving like I'm Jackson. This is that shit. 50 rags, 50 rags, 50 rags, yeah. Everything I'm doing now is different last year. Making money stretch like it's gymnastics. Strippers dance, strippers dance, strippers dancing. All I wanna do is get them strippers dancing. All I ever wanted was a bit of action. I ain't even wonder where my Jimmy at. Yeah. I said, shorty don't trip, shorty don't stress, shorty don't. Shorty don't.
What an awesome performance. Don Nova has many more songs just like this one on SoundCloud. So if you'd like to listen to more, his tag is The Don Nova. We've still got a lot more to come on the Journal, including a doc about a toy train modeler and another one-of-a-kind performance by Don Nova. But first, we've got Quasi Dunya, an African dancing and drumming instructor at York University. He's been a professor for over 14 years, but his passion for music goes way back to his childhood in Ghana. Produced by Abigail Tapper, here's The Beat of a Drum.
This is Quasi Dunya. He is a course director at the University of Toronto for African drumming, dancing, and singing.
Any instrument you play, you don't have to think about it. What you see me doing, I was teaching them a piece called Gahu. Gahu is a social or recreational dance originated from Nigeria. And in Nigeria, it was called Kokosama. Gahu means expensive or money dance. Expensive because of the nature of costumes used in performance of the Gahu. Gahu is, a circular dance. It's performed in a circle. That's Gahu. No. Yes. Music bring your soul back to you.
During the class, Quasi explained the definition of music when it comes to Africans. He said that music has 3 different components: drumming, dancing, and singing. Without the one component, music is not complete. He said that music is a way to communicate with different people who might not understand. It is a way to express yourself and show people who you really are.
So music heals a lot. Music gives us power. That's music. Come back to me. Fly low. Fly high. Butterfly, butterfly, come back to me. Okay.
A great doc. Right now, we have the producer of that story, Abigail, to tell us more about that amazing doc. Abby, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Even better now that I'm not alone on this stage anymore. It's always a pleasure to have some guests. So let's get the ball rolling here. How do you know Quasi Dunya?
So he's my really good friend's uncle, and I met him at one of their family gatherings, and I found out that he's an African drumming, dancing, and singing teacher at University of Toronto and also York University.
Mm-hmm. And why did you choose him for your doc?
So during the time that this assignment was assigned, it was the month of February, which is also Black History Month, and I wanted to showcase Black culture, and one of the ways I chose to do that was with African culture. So I'm Jamaican myself, so learning about African culture in a different way was important to me, and I thought that I could share that with other people so they would understand where I'm coming from.
And do you think we already had that representation present during the release of Black Panther?
Yeah, I think that helped a lot because Black culture isn't really exposed in the media, and because the release of that movie, it helped for people to understand my documentary as well.
Mm-hmm. And Quasi seems like a funny character. What was it like interviewing him?
Honestly, it was really fun. So he's from Ghana himself, so when I was talking to him, I learned a lot about his culture, and I didn't know how important music is in that culture. He said something like, if there isn't drumming or dancing, without the singing, music isn't a thing. So that was really important how he used those three characteristics to make music one. So.
Mm-hmm. And he mentioned something about workshops. Does he host any open to the public, or are they students only?
Yeah, so once a month he does this little community center YMCA dance where he takes people from ages 1 to 95, and you can learn different moves with him, and he also helps you to exercise. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And did you have any memorable moments while filming your documentary?
Yeah, so towards the end of the documentary, he allowed us to go in the circle and dance with him, and I never realized how hard the dancing was until I joined myself. So that was a pretty memorable moment, and now I have more of an appreciation for African culture. So.
And why is Black History Month so important to you?
Because I think that Black culture is not represented enough, and if there's a slight way for me to represent my culture in any way, I think it's very important, and I don't think people get how important it is, and to show everything that I can is very important to me, so that's why I chose to do this documentary.
Okay. And what else did he teach you while you were interviewing him?
He taught me patience. I learned that a lot because I couldn't get the dance at first, but after keep trying and trying, I got it, and I didn't know how hard it was, like I said before. So I learned a lot of patience, like how dancing is. So.
And what other future projects do you have coming up?
So I hope to do something like this again for next Black History Month. So I'm going to try and see if I can see what else is happening in the community that focuses on Black culture.
Oh, okay. What else? Man, it's just so good to have you here, unbelievably. Thank you for joining us today, Abby. It was a real pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You know, with dance moves like mine, I think I might need to take a few classes myself.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Well, folks, we're almost up, but we still got one more documentary to show you. This one is about John Lee Forrester, a train modeler who has loved trains since he was a kid. Today, he continues to model trains not only for himself, but for children who share that same passion. Here's On Miniature Tracks by Ricky Robichaud.
My name is John LaForestier. The kids call me Johnny Chuff Chuff. I take my model trains to train shows so that kids can have the experience of seeing the trains, playing with the trains, operating the trains, and having fun. Very often, my display is the only one at the train show that's dedicated to kids. My trains are in a scale called G. G stands for garden. And the trains are generally intended to be used outdoors, and they can stay outdoors all day, all year long. My first train set was a little circle of track, a clockwork O-gauge track when I was 4 or 5 years old. And my father used to put me on his shoulders and take me to a big junction where there were plenty of trains. And I used to watch big trains when I was a kid, and I loved that. All steam engines, of course, in those days. And I just love that. But my first really good experience of playing with electric trains was at a friend's house. He was just a year or so older than I was, and he had a big Lionel setup. We used to put that thing together on his living room rug. He had tracks going in every direction and switches and controllers, and I just thought that was fabulous. That's where I got the first experience of having a controller in my hands, turning a knob and seeing the effect that it had on the train. Eventually, about 15 or 20 years ago, I decided I didn't want to be playing around with small trains anymore. I was very strongly attracted to the large trains, and so I gave up all the small ones in order to go into the large ones. Well, my main reason for doing this all for the kids is because I got such a kick out of it as a child, and I want children to experience it. That kick that I got as a kid started me on a lifelong hobby, which has led in so many directions in so many ways. It's enriched my life enormously, raised my skill level in so many ways, in so many directions. And I want kids of today to have an opportunity to start on that path or a similar path if they're so inclined. That's pretty much the whole reason right there.
And we're back. John's love for trains is truly inspiring. Even something as simple as a toy train can bring happiness to those around you. It just goes to show that your passion can make a positive impact that money cannot buy. And that concludes this episode of The Journal. See you next week where we take up 3 more documentaries about a painter, a tattoo artist, a singer, and a 311 operator, all produced by the broadcasting and film students of Centennial College. Find us on Instagram at thejournal_Centennial College and on Facebook at The Journal. Closing our show today is Don Nova back with another fantastic song from the Story Arts Center. I'm your host, Zach Crawford, and this was The Journal. Take it away, Don.
In that Tupac movie, when he got out of jail, got off a plane, he came there with a suitcase of money, a bag of weed, and a death row chain. The came later. That's it.
I can turn this shit on like a light bulb. They can see me winning with the lights off. Please don't call me lucky when the dice roll. I just wanna flex a bit while I'm still young. Trying to catch a check-in while I'm still young. Told you I would do it back in high school. You never should expect to know how life goes. But I know who I am and what I die for. Giving chances and my wishes granted. Rolling up green, then I hit the backwards. Everything I dream of, I'm gonna capture. Life's too sweet, man, I never panic. This is that, this is that. 50 racks, 50 racks, 50 racks, yeah. Everything I'm doing now is different last year.